Hare Krishna. So Arjuna has asked Krishna that can you please describe about these 6 different aspects. And one of them, which Arjuna has explicitly asked, is about Kshetra. And now Krishna is going to take us deep into this concept of Kshetra, that is, its composition and its transformations. So let's see that from Shloka number 4 onwards. Tat kshetram yacha yadrikcha yadvikari yatascha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tatsamasena meshranu. Now the Lord is saying, Samasena meshranu. Now hear my brief description of Kshetram, about the field of activity. Second, Yadrik, how it is constituted. Third, Yadvikari, what its changes are. Yatascha, when it is produced. Then, Saha cha yaha, who that knower of the field of activity is. And Yat prabhavascha, what his influences are. So these are the different things that Krishna is going to speak. First, the field of activity. Second, its composition or how it is constituted. Third, the changes that take place. Then fourth is when it is produced. Fifth, who are the knower of the field of activities. And sixth, what his influences are. So let's see some of the important points given in the purport. The Lord is describing the field of activities and the knower of the field of activities in their constitutional position. Now see, we are discussing a lot of technical details here. Now we discussed about so much about bhakti and so much about other yoga systems. Now we have entered into our own lives and we are actually getting into details of our own body. This is a very important thing to understand. When we start understanding that how this body is made up of matter and how we are spirit soul, then there will be some higher level of realization that I am not the body, I am spirit soul, and we'll move on from there towards having some more greater and higher realizations. So here there is a nice technical details, a nice analysis that is given about this body. So that's what is spoken here, that the constitutional position is very nicely described here about the field of activities and the knower of the field of activities. That is the body and the super soul and soul. One has to know how this body is constituted. It is very important to know that what are the different elements those are there in our body. Second, the materials of which this body is made. Under whose control this body is working. This is also very important to know. Many times we feel I am the controller, but from Bhagavad-gita we understand that I am not the controller, I am controlled. At every step I am controlled. This understanding will come. And then how the changes are taking place. This is another very important thing. See, when we understand that how the changes are taking place in our body, why the changes are taking place in our body, so when it actually happens, we will not get bewildered or agitated because we know the truth. We already know it, why it's happening. That's how the reader of Bhagavad-gita or the student of Gita, they're always peaceful. They don't get affected by the temporary changes in this material world. And here it's given where from the changes are coming, what the causes are, what the reasons are, what the ultimate goal of the individual soul is, and what the actual form of the individual soul is. So these are the different technical details that we're going to get into in the future verses. One should also know the distinction between the individual living soul and the super soul, their different influences, their potentials, etc. This is very important to know, the difference between individual soul and super soul. Because it's a great misconception that people have that individual soul and super soul, they are one. But no, they're different, completely different. The name itself says soul and super soul. How can soul and soul which is super soul be the same? No, they're completely different. We are those individual souls. And Krishna's Paramatma in each and everyone's heart is the super soul. The soul and the super soul will never merge. This is what is the understanding that we need to have. Never they will merge. And then here it said, one just has to understand this Bhagavad-gita directly from the descriptions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all this will be clarified. But one should be careful not to consider the Supreme Personality of Godhead in every body to be one with the individual soul, the jiva. This is something like equating the potent and important. So how can we talk about, how can we pull down the Supreme Personality of Godhead at our level? We are impure and He is pavitra. He is all strong. We are nowhere. So in fact, we can go on speaking about the differences between the super soul and the individual soul. But it's common sense, it's logical that how can we equate ourselves to someone who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? How can we pull Him down at our level and start comparing? He's always Supreme Soul, He's always Sindhu, and we will always remain Bindu. He's the ocean and we are a drop. So this is what is the understanding that we readers of Gita should have. Now Krishna is saying, listen to me, I'm going to speak about all this. And now he's going to start speaking about these different things that is mentioned in this particular shloka. So let's see that in the future videos. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna